Hello, guys, and welcome to today's off-season outlook and discussion. Yes, I'm doing a second one for the second day in a row, and that is because Accuweather has came out with their hurricane prediction forecast here. And before we get into that, we're going to take a look at the past 2 years of the 2020s here. And as you guys know, 2020 and 2021 has been some of the craziest active years, that we've had, back to back that we've ever had. And as you can see here, we are looking at the 2020, hurricane season here. We got 31 tropical depressions. That's tied with 2005, which is insane. We had 30 tropical storms, which is the number one on the list. 14 hurricanes, which is almost up there with 2005. And we're tied with 2005 with major hurricanes, which is at 7. As you guys know, that 2020 was just another abnormal season here. As you can see here, expectations: low wind shear, abnormally warm sea surface temperatures, and a neutral in El Nino southern isolation or a La Nina. So it had all those key factors, really come into play to make this a very historic, 2020 hurricane season, which caused 417 total fatalities, which I'm surprised it wasn't more than that. But thank God, you know, obviously no death is good, but we can count our blessings that it wasn't a lot worse than that, because it definitely could have been a lot worse than that. And also, total damages is of 51,114,000, which is pretty massive. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season numbers. And as you can see here, 21 tropical depressions, in which all 21 of those tropical depressions became tropical storms, which I don't think I've ever seen every tropical depression become tropical storms before. I mean, it may have happened. I just don't remember. Hurricanes. Hurricanes are iffy. It could have been a lot better with 21 named systems and 4 major hurricanes. Which, despite only having 7 hurricanes, four major hurricanes is pretty decent. So, and both 2020 and 2021 both clocked out with a hurricane of near Cat 5 status, which was Sam in 2020 with 155 miles per hour, and so too was Ida. We had a couple in 2020 that was 155 miles per hour that made landfall in places. We got Laura, we got Iota, and we got Eta. All 155 mile per hour winds. So I'm surprised we haven't had a Cat 5, like a legit Cat 5 yet, but I feel like that's going to change. Obviously I can't say for sure if it's going to be this year or not, but I feel like soon enough we're definitely going to have a Cat 5, and we'll just have to see. And now we're going to take a look at the Accuweather 2022 hurricane forecast here. And here we go. 2021, 21 named storms, hurricanes 7, major hurricanes 4, direct U.S. impacts 8. Here is the normal: 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes, and 3.5 direct U.S. impacts. Now, this is the 2022 forecast from Accuweather here. We're looking for 16 to 20 named storms, 6 to 8 hurricanes, which I think is a little bit on the low side. I'll be going over my predictions here any day now, so we'll see what I have in store for that. We got 3 to 5 major hurricanes from Accuweather, and 4 to 6 direct U.S. landfalls. So, pretty much what Accuweather is saying here is that they are predicting a very above average, year here. We're talking about numbers that could be 2021 wise here, but hopefully, with more hurricanes than 7, we're just gonna have to see how this all plans out, and we're gonna see. They talked about the wind shear circulation gets disrupted by the upper air winds here. You can see it screeching to the south and southwest if this system was to come, at it. Obviously this isn't real life, but I'm just saying if this system came towards that, then you're looking at this system being disrupted. All right. Here's the name storms for the 2022 hurricane season. You got Alex, Bonnie, Colin, Danielle, Earl, Fiona, Gaston, Hermine, Ian, Julia, Carl, Lisa, Martin, Nicole, Owen, Paula, Richard, Sherry, Tobias, Virginia. I don't know how to pronounce that, and Walter. So there are your 21 named storms for this hurricane season. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the what their steering currents are looking like here. So, you know, it all depends on this Azores high here. If it's weak, curves out the sea. If it's in like the medium range, it will go, towards the U.S. East Coast, but could barely just miss them. And then if the Azores high is strong, you got it going into the Gulf of Mexico. So that's pretty interesting to see that AccuWeather has this. But I think this is what they show every year with this Bermuda Azores high. It's not exactly where the storms are going to go. This is what it could possibly do if the Azores highs was like this. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the outlook and discussion side of things, and we're not going to go over to CANSIP or CFS today because we had a lot to talk about already. So as you can see here, we got sea surface temperatures that are 27 degrees Celsius, 26 that are creeping up north here, and these shelf waters have finally reached above 20 degrees Celsius. So these waters are definitely warming up. It's just taking a little bit more time, because we've had some cold fronts come through and cool down the waters here and there, but these are starting to rebound, and we're starting to get those 26s and 27s that come up into the Gulf of Mexico. And also here in the Gulf Stream around Florida, there's some 26s around here. In most of the Caribbean, you got 27s and 26s, which is definitely favorable for tropical cyclone development if the shear was not screaming through these areas right now. Also, else places here in the Western Atlantic, you got 26s near the Bahamas, 26s and 27s here in the Western MDR region. So there's that. So now we're going to take a look at the not precipitation, but the anomalies here, the departures from normal. And you can see that the subtropics is so hot right now. This is so above normal right now, and that's why seasons like 2020 and 2021 were so active because of these subtropic sea surface temperatures here, which were very much conducive for subtropical and tropical cyclone development in these regions. And I've been saying this the last couple of videos. If you see this in the subtropics, you're most likely going to be having a hyperactive year in terms of named storm count, but not ACE count. And you can see where all these above average normal anomalies are in these regions. Also here in the Gulf of Mexico, you can see where the loop current is. Obviously, some of this is 3 degrees above the long-term average, which is absolutely insane. And you got above average, in a lot of places in the Gulf of Mexico, but there are obviously some areas that are below average here. Like here in the western Gulf of Mexico, some parts of the Bay of Campeche. Well, the Caribbean is, a little bit above the long-term average. And then there's some neutrals around here in the western MDR and parts of the Caribbean. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the departures from normal here from the whole of the Atlantic. And as you can see, these blues are just dominating the eastern MDR and the central MDR regions. And, now I'm going to talk about the MDR, where if you got the opposite, here in the cooler, the normal sea surface temperatures up here in the subtropics and the warm weather, or not weather, but warm waters are down here in the MDR, you might be looking at a hyperactive season in terms of ACE. So, either which way you look at it, it looks like it's going to be a very active season, whether you're getting tons of named storms or tons of ACE. It's like a pick your poison, which one do you want type of scenario here. But I do foresee that these sea surface temperatures might warm up as we head out through the next couple of months, and there are some indications of that happening, which we'll get into in another video. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the sea surface temperatures as a whole here, and you can see that these 26s are starting to creep up farther north here. We got some western MDR 26s here at the 15 north line, and you got some stuff at the 12 line. But as you can see, as we get to the central MDR region and the eastern MDR region, these are struggling to get anywhere near the 10 north line as we head out through, the last next couple of weeks or months. you know, Obviously, these are going to warm up as we head out through time, but right now they're really struggling to get above the 10 north line, which, you can see here at the equatorial, Atlantic here, we got some, 28s in here. So that's indicative of a Atlantic El Nino, which is, keeping these, you know, Etsy down south. So we're gonna have to see how this all pans out going forward because at some point this is gonna cool down here. I do believe at the equator, and that's gonna help bring the Etsy up north. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the ENSO region here. And normally I talk about the ENSO region first, but I decided to switch it around a little bit today just because we had some predictions to go over. But as you can see, recently we've had a steep incline of these sea surface temperatures in the Nino 3.4 region, which, the trades have calmed down to the point where it's gone up about negative 0.3 degrees in some cases. But I think those trades are starting to come back a little bit, and now you see that it's starting to decline a little bit as we go out through the next probably couple of days here. This The latest value here is negative 0.795, which is a pretty decent weak La Nina. So, like I've been saying, I do predict that the La Nina should stay for at least the first half of the hurricane season, and then we might transition to a cool neutral to stay in the weak La Nina as we get out through that time frame. Anyways, here in the next couple of days, I'm probably going to put out my official forecast for the Atlantic hurricane season, probably on the 1st or the 2nd of April, which I'm really excited to show you guys that because, the last 2 years, 2020 and 2021, I've predicted 20 plus named storms around the April timeframe. And, who knows? I might say 20 plus again because the conditions are looking ripe for additional, named storms than we normally typically see. So until that day, I want to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned and have a nice day.